Welcome to the Daily Pulse. Jaime White here. August 15th, 2023. Whew. Today's show is going to be very interesting. We got a lot to talk about. First of all, welcome to Stalin. I'll get onto that in a little bit. What I do want to talk about right now is yesterday's events. But I feel like having some fun first. So before we talk about what happened yesterday to Donald Trump, again, know this. It's going to be an interesting segment. We're also going to talk about how the president's son was arrested. Don't miss that. But first, let's have some fun. So I'm introducing a kind of a new segment to this podcast. You know, this is candidate season. You got a ton of candidates on the Republican side. 99% of them don't have a rat's ass in hell of winning. And they know that. If they don't know that, they shouldn't be president anyway. And you got a couple on the Democratic side, right? So candidates tend to say some wild and crazy things. They do. But you go along with it and you expect it. Well, take RFK Jr., for instance. So RFK Jr. says there's something in the water that, I guess, chemicals or whatever, and it can turn you trans. It can turn you transgender. Fabulous! Oh, crap. Oh, God. Not again. I thought we said we weren't going to do this again. Never mind. No more water on the set. What kind of water is this? What'd you give me? Where'd you get this from?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I think it's shim water.
Oh, shoot. Shim water.
I might be onto something.
Shim water. RFK, sponsored by RFK Jr. But I think that's crazy. But I'm sure you people out there think that's crazy. But which one is crazier? Because this next statement, it actually wasn't a statement. I really thought this was, when I first heard this, I have to be honest with you, I thought this was a fucking joke. This can't be true. This cannot be true. Okay? I mean, when I heard this, I immediately thought of Lex Luthor, okay? But then I did some research. And by God, it is true. And you know what? I had to look at several places. But where I'm getting this really from, and I don't watch them, CNN. But MSNBC spoke about it. Fox spoke about it. One American News spoke about it. The Politico. All these people spoke about it. And here it is. Since when does the United States own the sun? Did you know we own the sun?
No.
Well, we must think we do. Because, I kid you not, and people, you got to look this up, okay? You really got to look this up, okay? This is not Lex Luthor trying to say, you know, I'm going to darken the sun for $1 billion unless you give me $1 billion. The administration is putting together a committee to put together a task force to see how, and wait for it, to block the sun. They are serious. They want to block the sun. Put a big shade up. They said it could drop the Earth's temperature by 1 or 2 degrees. Now, I don't know about you, but I think there might be a few countries out there that just might have a problem with that. Yes, I just did a Joe Biden. But yes, do you really think we own the sun? Do you really think we could put, I mean, I know the sun doesn't move, but the earth moves. And how the hell would that even be done? And that the fact that we would waste money on considering blocking the sun. You know, you got that song, Here Comes the Sun, Now Block the Sun. I say it's not all right. I don't get this, people. So you tell me, which one is crazier? I want to know, is RFK water theory about turning men into transgender women, or is the government thinking they own the sun, putting together a committee to put together a task force to actually come up with an idea to block the sun? You tell me, which one is crazier? I look forward to hearing from you. Why did I say, welcome to Stalin? Why did I say that? Because we are now there. We have a Stalin-like administration. After the events that happened yesterday, this experiment we call America, well, it has forever and permanently altered the course of this country. This is a very serious moment. What happened yesterday is a fixed moment in time. We can never go back. What the Dinah Willis did yesterday, it will live, and I hate to use an old term, in infamy. What they are doing to Donald Trump is very sick. They want him dead. They literally want him dead. They want him dead and buried. Okay? And when he dies, they're not going to show up to his funeral. They're going to spit on him. You know, you got 4 indictments against Donald Trump. 4 indictments. Not one of these, there's 91 charges. Do you realize not one of the 91 charges is a legitimate charge? It's not. They're going back to the Civil War and then tweaking some of the charges to fit that. Or they're going back to like 1910 to tweak some more charges and fit that. Okay? And yesterday's charges, I mean, she called him a criminal enterprise and charged him with racketeering, RICO statute. Never been done before. And they're saying that the reason why it's a racketeering charge is because he said the election was stolen. Stacey Abrams, charges are calling you. Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer, Maxine Waters, the list goes on. But my point is this. There's an old quote that said, "Show me the man, and I'll find the crime." That is a real quote. Now, I'm going to have to look down here because I'm going to screw up this guy's name. But he was a part of Stalin's era, during, you know, his squad. Back, he was hired in 1941. The guy's name was, let me see if I got this here. Where's his name? Okay. I'm looking here. Lavrentia Beria. And I probably screwed the name. And he said, okay, I'm gonna find the exact quote here. Forgive me, it takes a second. He boasted that if you show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Okay? Stalin hired him in 1941 to prosecute people. And every single one he prosecuted, they brought the man to him And then he found the crime. This is what they've done to Joe Biden. This is what I've been talking about over my past episodes here. You see, in the episode where I talked about, where I linked Joe Biden to the KKK and how racism has evoluted into what we have in this administration today. This is control. Do as I say, like in Russia, okay, in 1941, or we will find you and we will figure out the crime later. We'll get you first and then we'll figure out the crime. This is a shot at every single American. And you know, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you're a libertarian, independent, doesn't matter. It should scare each and every one of you. Because what has been started in the last 5 months, Trump has been indicted. Every time something about Hunter Biden comes out, within a day or two, Trump's indicted. Think about that. Now think about this. I want you to, at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, August 14th, 2023, Fulton County Courthouse, on the docket was the trial of Donald J. Trump. And it listed every single charge. What's the big deal? He was indicted, right? Indicted by a grand jury. It should be on the docket. Yeah, you're right. It should be on the docket. Except for one little thing. They didn't vote to indict him till 8 o'clock last night. Think about that. The court came out and said, oh, this is a fictitious document. The exact charges that the grand jury came down with last night, but at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, they finally came out today. You know, this Fana Willis, were you talking about Willis? All Different Strokes show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is a hilarious show. She last night said, I don't know anything about how that process works. I don't know anything about the clerk process and the court process. I don't know. Really? You're charging people? You've been doing this for how long? And you don't know how that process works? It just, by magic, appeared on the court docket. You got to sign for it, you know. You got to sign. It has to be signed before it can get on the court docket. So they came out with a rather interesting excuse today. They finally came out with, there's a reason why it was on at 1 o'clock. We were practicing. They were practicing because it's very complicated. They said no. They said it was very, very complicated. And we have to get this on the docket, you know, because when it comes down, we got to make sure, we can get everything in, expedite things and get it on there, get it on the docket. Possibly plausible, except for one thing. You had every charge that you were going for on the document. It was identical to what the grand jury voted on at 8 o'clock last night. You knew. And Fana Willis, I saw that smirk up on the podium there, the thing you were talking behind when you were giving your press conference. And I could see how giddy you are. And you indicted 18 other people. And you said, I guarantee you, we're going to have this trial within 6 months. And yes, I'm going to try them all at the same time. No, you're not. I'm telling you, you're not. It's not going to happen. You're not going to try 19 people at one time. Not in 6 months, you're not. Maybe in a year and a half to 2 years, you could do that, but not in 6 months. And also, under Georgia law, if one person of the 19, that includes Donald Trump, decides to say a statement against one of the other defendants, by Georgia law, it has to be separated. Each one has to be separated. There has to be 19 separate trials. And not for nothing, but you indicted Kanye West's publicist? You see, this is what I'm talking about, people. This is a state of mind crime. This is a free speech crime, once again. Just because he said stuff. They didn't like it. I mean, Kanye West, really? So what they're doing is they want to get 1, 2, or 5 people to go against Trump. This is a tactic. We all know it's a tactic. And we all know this is bullshit. We all know this is crap. And I don't get how, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whether you're independent, libertarian, whatever, how you cannot be scared about this. We have forever, our system has forever been altered. I was supposed to come on the show today and talk about the candidates. From Chris Christie running for president, I didn't think he could run anywhere, to, of course, Donald Trump, to Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy. There are people out there, whether you like them or not, these candidates. You don't have to support Trump to support the country. As far as I'm concerned, Chris Christie, Ass Hutchinson, William Hurd, in my opinion, they're only there for their own power. Watch what they say. Watch what they're doing. They only care about getting into office. They don't care about you, the American people. They just care about their own power. They don't stand a rat's chance in hell in getting into office. They just want to be out there for the glory. Well, there ain't going to be no glory for them. You can't honestly vote for these people for nomination. You can't. Because they don't have to support Trump, but they have to support the country. They have to support the Constitution. They have to support the American way and the American ideal. And you don't charge someone because you don't like, they said the election was stolen. And that's what they're doing. This is a game to the Democrats. This is a game to the fucking administration. So you look at the candidates that are running for office, and you see which ones are supporting our country. They don't have to support Trump. But if they turn around and say, any one of these charges is legit, if any one of these charges is good for our nation, you kick them to the curb. You tell them, get the hell out. Because our country is worth trying to get back. Like I said, this has forever been altered. I don't know if we can get it back. I don't. I told my wife after the last election, and I stand by this till this day. After the last election, I told my wife, who's libertarian, I'm independent. In my lifetime, I will never see a Republican president again. It will not happen. If I live to be 100 years old, you will never see a Republican president again. Because what happened yesterday and what's happened over the last 5 months, if they get away with it, and they're going to, I mean, let's face the facts, people. Let's face the facts. Donald Trump's going to be convicted of something, somewhere, somehow. It's going to happen. Georgia and New York, Those are the two trials you got to worry about, because he can't pardon himself. There's another interesting thing, though, and no one's talked about this. Did you know that under our law of the United States, a president must have Secret Service 365 days, 24 hours a day? Did you know that, a former president? That's a law. Nothing can change that. So, when Donald Trump goes to jail, and it kills me inside, unless somehow we can get a miracle, and that miracle may be Donald Trump, because I'll never put anything past him. He is an awesome person. But I think even this one's too much for him. Secret Service would have to go into jail with him, 24/7 protecting him. They would have to go into the cell with him. Think about that. How does that work? See, nobody's talking about that. Where's the media talking about that? What happens if Donald Trump is convicted? We know in the federal, if he wins the presidency, he can pardon himself. But what if he doesn't? The Democrats will do anything to keep their power and to win the presidency. They will do, in my opinion, now remember, this is all my opinion I'm talking to you about. But I believe, in my heart, the Democrats will do anything and everything to keep their power. Screw the American people. This is Jaime White of the Daily Pulse. I really wanted to get in to the candidates today, but I have to sign off now. I mean, I really wanted to get into the candidates today. There are things I really want to talk about, but I had to talk about Donald Trump. Had no choice. What's happening is scary. And remember, only you, the people, can vote out the crap. And we need to not have another 2020 election. We can't. This country will collapse if you don't vote out the crap. Good night.